Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, and I want to say Shalom to Agnakwat out there, pursuing this truth diligently, coming at you once again with another lesson. This one's titled, here it is, E using AI demonize Jake, right? And there was a lesson I made a while back ago where I mentioned, all right, when I saw these, the things that they're doing, the involvements with, or the evolving of, AI with Sora's 2's release, I said, look, Esau is going to use this in some capacity for wickedness, all right, to say Jake did something or, did or was doing something that they didn't do. And let me go ahead and scroll back. It wasn't even that long ago. It was 3 weeks ago, almost a month ago, and it was titled, E will use AI as the ultimate deception tool. And let's see if I can go and search for, how do I do it? Let's see. Let's see. Let me see. Let load. Title on it, and for some reason, when I first started writing it, I just wrote AI. So I came back, and it was back to just the original AI. I said, well, no, I changed the title, but it doesn't say. I wish there was a save function. I wish I could just go right here. If it will load. Deceit is the action or practice of deceiving. Yeah, no shit. Concealing or misrepresenting the truth. Okay? Concealing or misrepresenting the truth. And deceiving is deliberately causing someone to believe something that is not true, especially for personal gain. Okay? And that's what they seek. They seek personal gain. Alright? And what is there to gain? Control. Power. Okay? They want people to believe them even when it's wrong. Now I'm going to go show you a couple of videos. Okay? This is the first one that I saw today with, a decent amount of footage from Sora 2, right? So I was talking about this, and let me see, and I mentioned through here, I can't, it was, hour and a half, so it's going to be hard to scroll through and find, it's going to be hard to scroll through and find the exact moment when I was talking about it, but it's in the title. E will use AI as the ultimate deception tool, and I mentioned deception and deceit and what deceit is. Let's see. But. And I talk about music, how it's hard to tell about the music. But yeah, going back to today's lesson, I don't want to waste too much airtime just sitting around here trying to find it. But, I mentioned in this video that they were going to use it for evil, for wicked, So, and you heard in the video that I was showing you, it says they want people to believe them even when it's wrong. All right, even when it's a lie, they want to be believed. And what we have today is this person says AI is already getting used to lie about Snap. All right, and Snap, of course, there's been lots of lessons going out about it, but supplemental nutritional assistance program. And there's one big way that you can tell this is Sora. All right, and it's by the blurs, because Sora, if you ever see the Sora videos, they have a little. I'll reopen it as a matter of fact, because this guy. Power. guy here will show some Sora videos. And you should see there's a little watermark right here. And it hops around. Right? See it hopping up and down, the little logo. Let me try that. Here you go. Let me restart it. Check it out. But let me try to show you it again. Again, this little guy right here. Well, if we go here, and this post from Black People Twitter on Reddit, and it says AI is already getting used to lie about Snap. Now, it should be, you know, easily believable that this is AI, because the fact of the matter that no one gets that much money for Snap. All right. And you see this lady, this white woman, Mila Joy, an Edomite, and it says lady gets $2,500 a month Snap food stamps, and she sells all of them for $1,200 a month. What an absolute scam. No one's doing that. Nobody makes that. All right. And you can use AI to debunk that. You can go to, is it even possible for a single woman to make $2,500 a month in food stamps? Yeah, you see it. Is not possible under current U.S. federal guidelines. The amounts would exceed the maximum even for a large household. What's usually the max that's realistic? $300, right? Or say, theoretically, if you had 8 people, 1,751, right? If you had that many people, okay, which is generally, you know, like I said, very rare. All right, 2,500 would happen only in a very large household, around 12 people, and then if they had little to no income, and like I said, it's pretty much impossible in current infrastructure. But they have it right here, and you can see they deceptively blur. All right, you'll see little spots of random blur because they're blurring out this little AI, you know, Sora little, what do they call those? Watermarks. So check it out.
Get over $2,500 a month in stamps. I sell them $2,000 worth for about $1,200 to $1,500 cash. That's why everybody's upset. Folks say we're taking advantage, but that's how we get by. And that's the frustration we're hearing out here in downtown Atlanta.
All right, so let's play it again. And the person here says, what a twist, says, I understand AI is getting better, but there are still many tells. If you had bad vision, the way the talk is a big tell. The way they talk is a big deal. But you can see little blurs come around. There's one right there.
Stamps. I sell them.
Then it moves.
Worth for about $1,200 to $1,500 cash. That's why everybody's upset.
There it is again.
We're taking advantage, but that's how we get by. And that's the frustration we're hearing out here in downtown Atlanta.
I'm watch it again, see where I can find the other blurs.
Get over $2,500 a month in stamps. I sell them $2,000 worth for about $1,200 to $1,500 cash. That's why everybody's upset. Folks say we're taking advantage, but that's how we get by. And that's the frustration we're hearing. Get over $2,500 a month in stamps. I sell them $2,000 worth.
Some stuff going on up there.
To $1,500 cash. That's why everybody's upset. Folks say we're taking advantage, but
that's also why it's heavily cropped.
That's how we get by, and that's the frustration we're hearing out here in downtown Atlanta. Over $2,500 a month in stamps. I sell them $2,000 worth for about $1,200 to $1,500 cash. That's why everybody's upset. Folks say we're taking advantage, but that's how we get by, and that's the frustration we're hearing out here in downtown Atlanta.
Yeah. So, that's Esau for you, all right? Always lying and trying to make Jake look bad, all right? And there's, like I said, there's only, and I mentioned in that this lesson here, there's only a matter of time before they're going to try to use it against us, the Hebrew Israelites, all right? And, you know, of course, these people these days are too dumb to identify AI, all right? Like, it's hard to identify, all right? It's already hard to identify, but they're not going to try to identify it because they're going to say, oh, that's not AI. They're not going to even have the conscious thought, you know, when we see something, is that AI? You know, they're not going to have that conscious thought. They're just going to lean into it, all right? Now, there's an AI detection test right? And you can, let's see. Real, or there's like a real or AI. There's like real or AI, and I watched one earlier. It came up on Shorts, and most of the time you can tell, right? We'll go to this one and we'll see. Just to watch to show you.
Which one is AI?
And in this one, see the lighting. I'm guessing the top one's real and the bottom's got to be fake because the lighting on the bottom, it's too well lit. That's the thing with AI. If the lighting if it's too well lit, it looks too cinematic like a movie. Probably AI. This one butter dripped weird, but I'm guessing this one's real and this one's fake. Yeah. This one's super easy, right? Again, using the same rule. This one's fake on the top. Fake on the top. Again, you just gotta look at it, alright?
Which one is AI?
So that one is a relatively easy one. Alright? That was a relatively easy one. But there's other ones that are a little bit harder. Like maybe this one. This one you can still tell though. Alright? See, this one's hard though. I think the one on the bottom's real. Yeah, it's fake. This one's real. But yeah, I mean, you have to really take a minute to... The big giveaway right now is the cinematic, how it looks like it was shot on, you know, very expensive camera equipment. You know, but let's see. Which clip is AI generated with Sora?
Hey, Gerard, is now still a good time to talk about the data interpreter position?
That's real. Oh, obviously. But yeah, you know. This one's easy. Animals are always, you know, again. Bottom one's fake. Oh, shit. Okay, see? It can be hard with certain ones. Bottom one's real. Really? See? Some of them, depending on the subject matter, can be pretty hard. Now, I'm going to go the opposite guess. I'm going to say the one on top's real because it looks like it's fake. Really? Okay. So, yeah, man. It gets hard. All right. If you keep on going through those, I've only done a couple, you know, And, of course, you saw the ones I just did right then. And 9 times out of 10, you can detect. Okay? But a lot of people can't detect. So, the telltale is weird eye, the dead stare. All right, you saw it in this video. There's always a dead stare.
$2,500 a month in stamps. I sell them $2,000 worth for about $1,200 to $1,500 cash. That's why everybody's upset. Folks say we're taking advantage, but that's how we get by, and that's the frustration we're hearing out here.
There's the dead stare. Nobody makes that much eye contact, right?
$2,500 a month in stamps.
They'll look away, or they'll be more, you know. There's just telltales. All right, when things move and sway.
$2,000 worth. For about 12 to
the earring sway is a little weird.
That's why everybody's upset. Folks say we're taking advantage, but that's how we get by, and that's the frustration.
And you can see her hair in the background doesn't move at all, even though it's shaking.
To $1,500 cash. That's why everybody's upset. Folks say we're taking advantage, but that's how we get by, and that's
right. There's no movement of the braids at all. You know, so there's different things that are a telltale sign, but you got to learn to identify them, man, because these Edomites, all right, are going, but they already are, right? In the previous lesson, I said they're going to. They're already doing it now. Okay, this is just the beginning. So Job 13:4. Here's one for the Edomites, because this is them. This is speaking of them. Job 13:4. But ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value. And this is a good double whammy scripture because it shows you that they're liars. All right, they're forgers of lies. And if you are a forger of something, if someone, you can go and even ask ChatGPT. If someone is a forger of something, what does that make them? I.e., forger of So I don't want to use the exact scripture. A forger of fortune. I spelled fortune wrong, whatever. How do you spell fortune? Is it like that? How do you spell that word? It's not it. How do you spell fortune? Oh, like that. All right. All right. Forger of music. Okay. So it says a forger, like a blacksmith who shapes metal then. A forger of music, one who creates, shapes, and crafts music with skill and intensity. So if they do that with a lie, you know, they're crafting and shaping a lie, all right, with, you know, all of their ability. And they're physicians of no value. And a physician is a doctor, so that means they're not great doctors. They suck. They suck at it. And they're already doing it. Okay, they're already doing it. Here it is, using AI to demonize Jake. Okay, now let's read some comments. It says, also, why would she tell on herself? Absolutely. That would make no sense. It says AI. It's AI, so now people are making AI videos of them snitching on themselves. It says, someone is going to have to point out the AI tells to me. Said, aside from self-snitching and 200 or 2,500 in EBT, there ain't nobody getting 2 G's a month on EBT. Said, I think you, the people who pointed out Google has the wrong answer for this. You would only need a 12-person household to receive 2,500 per month. So ain't nobody got that. And like I said, it's still unlikely that you're gonna get that amount. Because conservatives don't care. You could show them scientific analysis that this is false, and they'd still happily believe it because it confirms their biases. They don't. They want to believe it, so therefore it's true. Well, something I could see happening is their fallback when shit like this is proven to be false. But it confirms my racist assumptions. It must be true. All right. It says what's crazy is the majority of people on Snap are white, and it's true. And it says what's crazier is that a hell of a lot of them have voted for this. It says prompting and making this isn't a racist. Prompting and making this in itself is a racist attack. IDK how to explain it. So yeah, it says it is, no explanation needed. And this is going to get so much worse on a public freak out and crash out subs and Facebook and Twitter and literally all over. It's true. It's true. It says using AI to make this type of racist propaganda should be prosecuted as a hate crime. I agree. All right. They should actually label it as domestic terrorism. Is what they should. But yeah, man. And that's what they're doing. All right, it's only gonna get worse. All right, I'm sure they're gonna use it for, you know, us Hebrew Israelites. All right, in some way, shape, or form, they'll have us saying something crazy or something stupid. So just be sober, be vigilant, right, as the scriptures say. You know, because your adversary, the devil, walketh about. Let's go and get it. First Peter 5:8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. So, you know, you got to be sober, all right, when, you know, sober of the mind, of course, and vigilant. You got to be on your game, because Esau is going to be rolling these things out, and you got to know how to determine AI from real, all right, from reality. You got to know how to do it. You got to know how to do it this day and age, all right, or they'll have you believe in everything. All right, they're gonna do a whole bunch of stuff with AI, man. I wouldn't be surprised if they flood the market with you know, chariot videos, all right, that are AI generated. Flood the market with a bunch of stuff, you know. And now the thing is, like, if you see a chariot or anything, they can just say, oh, people don't know what to believe now, so people are just gonna say, oh, it's AI. You know, it's AI. You know, it's AI. So it's a crazy time that we're in. Okay. And you got to be watchful. Okay, you got to be watchful because E is most definitely going to be using this as they've already started. All right, I don't know if it was the lady in this video, Mila Joy, that made it, but you know, it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. What else do we have? It says there's an AI glitch in our jacket. Absolutely. Let's see. It says stop telling AI how it is messing up. That's true. It says for real, the car in the background isn't long enough, and humans all have 7 fingers. But it's not. You're not gonna be able to do anything about it, Jake. They already got a version that doesn't mess up. All right, this is just the one that they've released to the public. Let's see. Let's see. Things also change colors randomly in the world. Stop signs spin. Traffic lights are actually colored blue, brown, and pink. Wacky arm waving. Inflatable tube man. So what else do we got? And now people are cropping out the Sora watermark. How are we supposed to protect the misinformed from this? You don't. You don't. It says government regulation of AI should protect people from misinformation like this, but the big tech doesn't want that, so the lobby gets what the lobby wants. You're not going to protect anybody from it. It's impossible. Let's see. The real reason racists are investing so much in AI, it's about to be a propaganda parade. Manipulate and control to distract people from reality. Well, order ob chaos, right? That's their motto. Order ob chaos. Order through chaos, right? So Reagan's ghost still winning with the fucking welfare queen shit. Conservatives will never let that myth go. You know, nobody would admit this on cam for the world to see. Right? It says, my God, leave us the fuck alone. Black people out of here trying to live, and they keep making AI videos of this of us to push agendas. It's true, and they don't give a shit. All right, they don't give. But you love it here, Jake. All right, you love it here. All right, even though it's all full of lies and robbery. Okay, you love it here. All right, the prey. Not. This is Nahum 3:1. It says, woe to the bloody city. It is all full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not. You love it here. What are you talking about? Leave us alone. You love it in Esau's world, right? Why are you so upset? You love it here. You love Esau's world that he built up for himself and not you, okay? You don't want to go anywhere else. You want to stay right here. Exodus 23:1. Thou shalt not raise a false report. Put not thine hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. Let's go and translate this in the Good News Translation. All right, while we still have the Bible Gateway and any of these online Bible tools. So let's go and get it in the Good News Translation. It says, do not spread false rumors and do not help a guilty person by giving false testimony. All right, and mind you, all these Edomites, right, that are Trumpies, most of them are Christians, okay? And they love the Bible. No, they don't. They hate the Bible. All right, they don't know scriptures like this. They ignore them, and it shows you that Esau, you know, no one as profane as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. All right, as the scriptures say, no one is profane. Profane is ungodly, you know, separate from the Lord, separate from the commandments. All right, and they're profane. They can't keep laws. They can't do anything right. So that's why they don't know the scriptures, because it's not for them to know. The scriptures were given to Jacob, Israel. Okay, the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and that's why they hate us so much. All right, and they hate us so much they had to take our book. All right, they hate us so much they had to try to, you know, I'd say take our God. And they took his, you know, his book, and they tried to, you know, paste over the names. All right, they didn't do a very good job of it. All right, but you know, but they gave them different characteristics in the Bible again because they can't interpret the Bible. They don't understand it. All right, it's not for them to understand, okay? You know, and you act like you're so much better than Jay. Oh, you know, we're you know, these animals and these, you know, the criminals and all this shit. Well, why did you hate them? You know, and my wife mentioned this, and I never really thought about it like that. All right, why did you hate our people? You know, 30. You know, why didn't you? Why did you hate our people? You know, 75 years ago, and even shorter than that. All right, So Jim Crow era and back when Jake wasn't even doing crime like that. Okay. What about why did you hate? Why, if it's all about the crime, okay, why did you hate, the first black families that moved to Compton? Okay, when it was a white town. Why? When they came to work, right? They came to, just they're good working class people. Why'd you hate them? Okay, let's say, well, they were lazy. Well, no, these guys were hard workers. All right, somewhere in various different fields. Right? So what'd you hate them for? Their skin color? What'd you hate them for? See, your lies don't add up. Your lies don't add up, E. Okay? You just don't like us because of the birthright. I made that lesson a while ago. That's why Jake really is hated by Esau, because of the birthright. Okay? The birthright. Okay? We got the blessing and they did not. Okay? So Proverbs 13:5, it says, a righteous man, we're godly and you guys are just evil and you're robbers and you're criminals, and we're just trying to be godly Christians. Okay. Proverbs 13:5, a righteous man hateth lying, but a wicked man is loathsome and cometh to shame. Let's go and get that in the Good News Translation. Okay. It says, honest people hate lies, but the words of wicked people are shameful and disgraceful. And that's what it is. It's shameful and disgraceful. All right, this AI that you're putting out there, E. Okay, and just trying to push a narrative. Okay, trying to push a narrative, man, and that's fine. Okay, that's fine. The Lord's gonna get you back. Okay, but you're Christian, you're godly. Oh, I'm godly. You're not godly. All right, you're ungodly is what you are. All right, you're lying. All right, just a lie. All right, to push a narrative, you have to make an AI video to make Jake look bad, because Jake isn't as bad as you want to make them look. All right, and Jake is bad. All right, Jake does some shit. All right, Esau does some shit. We all do some shit. Jake's in a bad state. All right, everyone in the world's in a bad state right now. But they focus on the downfalls of Jake. All right, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. When a white guy goes and robs something, they don't focus on that. When a black person robs something, they focus on that. All right, when someone's attacked by a white guy, they don't focus on that. When someone's attacked by a black person, they do focus on that. And same with, I say black, but so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American, right? So they focus on, Jake's faults, all right, which they shouldn't be doing anyway. All right, and mind you, these are Jake that are in the world. They're not in the truth. And they, demonize a whole group of people, all right, because of the actions of a few, but not the actions of the white. All right, you got to be the wrong color, as they would say, right? You got to, or the right color, right? The right color, the wrong color to them. Okay, and they just want to they want to push a narrative, man. They're trying to push a narrative, and they want Jake to look worse than they actually are. So don't be surprised when you see some crazy ass, heinous ass fucking videos coming out. I don't even know what they're gonna come out next. I'm not gonna give them fuel for the fire and shit, but. That's what they do. That is what they do. So, let's see. How long have we been going? 28 minutes? Let's get, I don't think I read it yet. I might have got sidetracked and talked and forgot that I read it. But Proverbs 19:9 says, a false witness shall not be unpunished, and he that speaketh lies shall perish. So let's go ahead and transfer this over to the Good News Translation. All right. It said, it's easy, it's simple, but we'll get it over here too. It says in verse 9, it says, no one who tells lies in court can escape punishment. He is doomed. Not a fan. Not a fan. Proverbs 9:19 has that seriousness to it. A false witness shall not be unpunished. Okay, and he that speaketh lies shall perish, shall die. You're going to die if you speak those lies, all right? Not doomed, you're going to die, all right? Doom, you could be doomed to fall down the stairs. You could be doomed to stub your toe. No, perish, you're going to die, man. The Lord's going to kill you for it, okay? Now, a lot of people don't, like, they don't like the harsh reality of the Bible, so they try to dumb it down, okay? They try to dumb it down because they don't like how harsh it is, okay? I mentioned at work because people. I've been there for 3 years. They don't know. They know I don't celebrate any of that shit, and they ask me why. And most of it's true. Because they'll ask me, I'm like, I don't celebrate none of that shit. I don't do none of that. And they ask me why, and I didn't really lie to them. I said, well, it's all holidays in America are corporate holidays. They're all capitalistic. All right. Think about every holiday that there is. What's the main theme? Spend money. You got Valentine's Day. What do? You go and buy chocolates for your loved one. Then you got Easter. What do? You go and buy an egg, and you lie to your children for and give them chocolates. And you got to go buy the basket. And you got to go buy the egg. And you got to go buy this. And you got to go buy that. And then you got to go buy the photos with the Easter bunny, right? Because you wouldn't want to miss out on their first memories, right? And then what do you have? 4th of July. What do you got to do? Buy shit. You got to buy fireworks. You got to buy beer. You got to buy food to barbecue, right? And then you have, all these different Halloweens. What do you got to do? Buy candy. Buy a costume. All right. Buy alcohol. Buy all the stuff you need for a Halloween party. Right? All this fucking bullshit. And then Christmas is just the buy me shit fucking holiday. All right. We both buy, we all get together and make ourselves broke and very fucking uncomfortable for the month, because if we don't, it means we don't love each other. Stupid. It's stupid. So that's basically what I tell them. All right. And, I'm not, I mentioned, and they know that, and I mentioned, So someone brought up was about Halloween, and I said, oh yeah, I gotta put a note on my door. I said, I'm gonna be at work, but I gotta put a note on my door letting them know that I'm not gonna be, we're not gonna hand out candy, because these kids here, they don't give a fucking shit. When I was a kid and we did Halloween, if the lights were off, you don't come by. All right, doesn't matter. We have our lights off, they'll still fucking come and knock. And I made a joke, all right, because this lady I know, she's also a Christian, and I made a joke basically saying, I said these kids every year, they go and they keep coming, and I said, and she doesn't celebrate Halloween either, I don't think, because like her religion or whatever, all right, because you're not supposed to do it. And I made a joke, and I said, yeah, well, in the spirit of Halloween, maybe I'll put a sign on my door that says, no candy, all right, the Lord's gonna kill you all. All right? And she said, well, that's not the best way to spread the message. And I said, well. And I told her, I said, well, the good news to many is bad news. And she said, that's true, right? And had nothing else to say. Of course, I'm not going to do it. It's just, it is, if you want, spooky in the spirit of Halloween, here's something that'll really scare the kids. All right, the Lord's going to kill your ass. All right, that's what's going to be scary for your ass. And of course, I'm not going to do that. But, she's one of those over-righteous Christians. Where like, oh, you can't, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to lie to people? All right, and say, and that's what reminded me of it, is like, these people don't want to have the harsh reality. They want to, like it says, prophesy unto us smooth things. They want to be told smooth things. They don't want to hear, oh, the Lord's going to kill you. No, the Lord forgives everybody no matter what you've done. No. Nope. First of all, he does forgive, but he only forgives, all right, the Israelites. Okay? Nobody else. You're not going to get forgiven, Esau, right? You wish you could get forgiven for all the evil-ass shit that you've done, but you won't be. Right? You want to, oh so desperately, but the Lord's not going to forgive you, right? So this is 2 Maccabees 7:31. This one's for you, E. Here's a Halloween treat. It says 2 Maccabees 7:31, and thou that hast been the author of all mischief against the Hebrews shall not escape the hands of Yahweh. So there's your spooky little Halloween thing. And Lord willing, tomorrow I'll try to make a lesson about Halloween. Right off the bat, all right, before I do it, so you can't say I didn't. Halloween's wicked. Don't celebrate it. All right, don't celebrate it. You're not supposed to be celebrating any of these holidays. All right. Right here, Amos 5:21. I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. So there you go. All these man-made assemblies and feast days. The Lord hates them. He doesn't like them. You're supposed to be celebrating His holidays. You say, all these holidays. You know what a holiday is? A holy day. All right. None of those days are holy. Okay, they're all wicked. Holy means separate. All right, we're supposed to be being separate. Our days are separate. You would hate our holidays. You would hate our holidays. All right, the Passover. All right, a day of fear. All right, hoping that the Lord, His death angel passes over you. All right, you got the Day of Atonement, where you can't eat or drink anything for a full 24 hours. You'd hate that one. You'd hate it. You'd like Hanukkah probably, because you can give gifts, but that's it. All right, the Festival of Light. That's it. That's the only one that you would enjoy. You'd hate all the other ones. All right, and you'd hate Hanukkah too if you really knew what it was for. All right, you just like the idea of gifts being given. Right. So yeah, man. That's just you're just ridiculous, man. You're just ridiculous. Okay, and there's your Halloween treat. There's your there's no trick, but the treat is that you're gonna be destroyed. The treat for us, at least. Maybe not for you. Maybe that's the trick, right? So you know, don't celebrate it. All right, I'll make a lesson, Lord willing, tomorrow if the Spirit's on me. You know, I may or may not do it because at the end of the day, it's 2025, man. Everybody should know not to be celebrating these wicked holidays anyway. You know, but if you're just waking up, hey, that's a different story. You don't know, right? But you're not supposed to be celebrating any of these holidays because they're not the Lord's holidays. And they seem small to you, but all these holidays go back to pagan customs, all right? And really, Halloween goes back to Samhain. And if I don't make a lesson on that topic tomorrow, because I may or may not, depending on where the Spirit guides me, I do have another topic that I was looking into. But you can go here, you can type in Halloween, okay? And you can get one of those. I'd recommend the one from a year ago because that's the most recent one, okay? And you know, that's the video. All right, that's the video right there. Halloween, people are dying to celebrate death. All right, here celebrating Halloween, aka Samhain, is wicked. Okay, remember when 146 people died and sold during a Halloween celebration? So there you go. Go and watch this one. This is the longest one. This is the last one that I put out for last year. Like I said, may or may not end up making a lesson about it. I'll try to. Lord willing, maybe we'll see. I don't know. Like I said, it's all through the Spirit. I think I was going to do, I don't know. I had something. I can't remember. I know there was a big earthquake, but that'll probably pop up in the judgment report, Lord willing. But, yeah, man. So all you Edomites, all right, that have done all this mischief against Jake, all right, and all the mischief that you have yet to do, because you got more in you. All right, you're not gonna escape the hands of Yahweh Shemi Shai. All right, he's gonna get you back. You're gonna be got. All right, and that's it. Right. 2 Maccabees 7:31 in the Good News Translation says, "You have thought up all kinds of cruel things to do to our people, but you won't escape the punishment that Yahweh has in store for you." Boom. Perfect. All right, so there it was. All right, here it is. Using AI to demonize Jake. So we're going to close out there. Lord, when it was edifying. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Dash. I want to say shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring. Keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Until next one, Lord willing. Shalom.